Human intelligence is not a single, measurable quality. It is a vast, multidimensional spectrum of cognitive abilities, processing speeds, and awareness states. It stretches from the most fundamental sensory perception to levels of consciousness that fundamentally question reality itself. To truly understand human potential, we must map this landscape. In the next 10 minutes, we will explore 10 distinct cognitive gears that define how humans perceive, process, and interact with the world, moving from the most limited capacities to the rarest forms of insight. At the most foundational level is subnormal intelligence. This category is characterized by significant limitations in both intellectual functioning and adaptive behavior, typically corresponding to an IQ score below 70. These limitations often stem from profound genetic factors, severe brain injury, or complications during early development. The cognitive struggles here are pervasive, impacting executive functions, processing speed, memory recall, and, most notably, abstract thinking and complex language comprehension. Individuals at this level require lifelong structured assistance for basic tasks such as self-care, communication, and navigating unfamiliar environments. Their experience of the world is largely immediate and sensory. They respond powerfully to emotional tones and physical cues rather than to logic or intricate linguistic structures. However, it is crucial to recognize that cognitive limitations do not equate to emotional absence. People at this level often form deep, profound emotional bonds, expressing connection, joy, and frustration in powerful nonverbal ways. The focus of modern understanding is on providing comprehensive care, ensuring dignity, and facilitating a meaningful life within their specific capacities, emphasizing inclusion over outdated classification. The next stage is below average intelligence. This gear includes individuals who are generally capable of independent functioning but encounter significant difficulties when faced with complex reasoning, theoretical concepts, or highly abstract problem-solving. IQ scores in this range typically fall between 70 and 85. Learning for this group is often most effective through concrete experience, repetition, and hands-on activities rather than through academic theory or purely verbal instruction. While they may struggle in formal educational settings that prioritize abstract subjects like advanced mathematics or complex grammar, they often possess strong practical intelligence and interpersonal skills. People in this category frequently thrive in structured, routine-based professional environments, contributing essential labor in fields such as manual trades, customer service, and caregiving. They demonstrate reliability, loyalty, and often a grounded, common-sense approach to daily life. Their success is rooted in maximizing their practical strengths and stability, proving that societal contribution is measured by utility and engagement, not simply by IQ score. The central point on the map and the home of the vast majority of the global population is average intelligence. This cognitive gear is the engine that drives daily life and societal function. It encompasses the ability to read, write, perform standard calculations, understand cause and effect, follow complex instructions, and navigate intricate social dynamics. Individuals operating at this level, typically with IQs between 85 and 115, are adept at routine problem-solving, planning, and learning effectively from experience. They fill crucial roles as teachers, managers, technicians, nurses, and small business owners. The world, in essence, is designed to accommodate and utilize average intelligence. However, this stability presents a unique psychological challenge. People at this level are often smart enough to succeed within existing frameworks, yet rarely feel compelled to question the fundamental assumptions of those frameworks. This can lead to a state of cognitive inertia, where comfort and familiarity supersede the drive for deeper, non-essential intellectual exploration. They may confuse being generally informed with possessing true expertise, making this level stable, functional, but often resistant to the radical intellectual growth required to shift gears. Shifting into above-average intelligence marks a distinct increase in processing speed and cognitive efficiency. This gear is characterized by rapid learning, a heightened ability to recognize complex patterns, and the capacity to anticipate potential outcomes or problems long before they materialize for others. Individuals in this range often found school curricula slow or repetitive, as their minds quickly grasp concepts and seek deeper, systemic connections. They are naturally drawn to theoretical disciplines, including advanced mathematics, complex coding, strategic planning, and philosophical inquiry, where abstract systems are the primary tools. The challenge for those operating at this speed is one of intellectual friction and social misalignment. The constant need to slow down or simplify thoughts for others can lead to profound intellectual frustration, social overthinking, and a tendency toward detachment. Operating above the average speed requires careful management to prevent high intelligence from becoming a form of social isolation. High intelligence represents a significant cognitive leap, typically corresponding to IQs between 130 and 145, placing these individuals in the top 2% of the population. This level is defined not merely by speed, but by the ability to make intuitive leaps, seeing solutions or synthesizing concepts without laborious, linear analysis. They demonstrate exceptional mastery of abstract systems and often find standard educational pathways inadequate, frequently teaching themselves complex topics outside the curriculum. They excel as strategic thinkers and early innovators in fields that reward depth and strategic foresight. However, this rapid cognitive development often outpaces emotional and social maturity, particularly in youth, leading to feelings of profound isolation or misunderstanding. When properly channeled and supported, these minds become the critical problem solvers who push the boundaries of technology, science, and strategic organization, driving significant, measurable advancement in their chosen fields. Beyond the metrics of high intelligence lies giftedness. While often associated with IQs above 145, this level transcends mere numerical ability, focusing instead on exceptional depth, originality, and the capacity for cross-domain synthesis. Gifted individuals demonstrate intense focus, remarkable long-term memory, and an ability to connect seemingly disparate ideas from an early age. They don't just learn material, they reframe problems and generate novel solutions. Their thinking is often unconventional and years ahead of their chronological age. Giftedness is characterized by asynchronous development. The mental capacity is far ahead of the emotional or social experience, leading to unique challenges such as frustration with slow systems, hypersensitivity to injustice, and difficulty relating to peers who operate at a different cognitive pace. When provided the necessary emotional and intellectual support, gifted individuals become the creators, artists, and deep thinkers whose original contributions reshape cultural and intellectual landscapes. The gear of genius represents a fundamental transformation in cognitive architecture. Geniuses do not simply solve problems within an existing paradigm. They possess the unique power to dismantle and fundamentally rebuild the underlying logic of that paradigm. This is the difference between mastering physics and inventing relativity, or between following mathematical rules and deriving profound intuitive truths that rewrite those rules. Figures who operate at this level create paradigm shifts in science, philosophy, and art. Their brains run not just faster but laterally, questioning the very necessity of established norms. However, genius is rarely experienced as a simple gift by the individual. It often manifests as profound isolation, as their radical ideas are frequently misunderstood, dismissed, or even punished by institutions and contemporaries who cannot yet comprehend the shift. The praise and recognition often arrive decades after the initial breakthrough. A rare and specialized form of exceptional ability is the polymath. This is defined as a genius with exceptional range, achieving mastery across multiple, often disparate fields. Unlike a specialized genius who dives deep into a single area, the polymath mind thrives on synthesis, finding the connective tissue between seemingly unrelated disciplines, linking mathematics to music, biology to philosophy, or art to engineering. Historical examples demonstrate individuals who simultaneously excelled as inventors, writers, scientists, and artists. The defining characteristic is an insatiable curiosity that resists the modern pressure toward hyper-specialization. Polymathic intelligence demands not only high cognitive power but also immense discipline, time management, and a deep appreciation for the integrated nature of knowledge. These individuals remind society of the power of broad, synthetic thinking, working across decades to answer questions that no single field can address alone. Further along the spectrum is visionary intelligence. Visionaries operate beyond the mastery of existing systems. Their primary intelligence lies in imagining and building entirely new ones. This gear blends the foresight of high intelligence, the courage of conviction, and the synthetic power of genius. Visionaries connect the dots between emerging science, societal trends, and future human needs, introducing ideas that initially seem impossible or absurd until they become the inevitable future. They are the architects of new industries, movements, and societal structures. This level of thinking necessitates high risk-taking, as visionaries must challenge norms and endure periods of intense doubt and rejection. Their brilliance is not just in solving problems, but in defining the problems of tomorrow and motivating others to build the solutions. Visionary intelligence is the force that bends the future. At the furthest reach of the cognitive spectrum is transcendent intelligence. At this highest level, the function of intelligence shifts entirely. It ceases to be about acquiring, organizing, or solving external problems and becomes focused on cultivating a profound universal awareness. These minds do not merely connect dots, they question the fundamental reality of the dots themselves. They see through the illusions of ego, the cycles of consciousness, and the constructed nature of identity. This intellectual endeavor moves beyond empirical data into philosophical and spiritual inquiry. Thinkers associated with this level are those who sought fundamental truth, not just knowledge, and guided others towards self-awareness and understanding. Transcendent intelligence is often quiet, still, and frequently mistaken for madness or simplicity, because it threatens the very systems built on separation and ego. At this stage, cognitive power stops serving the individual self and begins serving a broader, essential truth. This comprehensive journey across 10 cognitive gears reveals that intelligence is not a single linear hierarchy of worth, but rather a diverse toolkit of human potential. Each level possesses inherent strengths, unique challenges, and an essential dignity necessary for the complex functioning of society. The spectrum serves as a map of human capability, not a final verdict on individual value. The most valuable realization is the understanding of one's own cognitive configuration, the default gear that shapes one's perception. The most powerful question we can ask ourselves is not how smart we are, but rather, which cognitive gear is most effective for the challenge we currently face, and how can we learn to shift gears when needed to maximize our own potential? If this detailed exploration of the human mind spectrum provided you with valuable insight, please consider subscribing. It is the best way to ensure you don't miss our next deep dive into the forces that shape our world.